Hey, hi everybody. How you doing? Got kind of a fun subject today. I was just talking with a fellow that runs a podcast, and he's going to interview me in the coming weeks. I do a lot of that, and I really like being in that format. For some reason, my brain is wired for Q&A, and I really like that format. Um, so I was sort of explaining to him some concepts I thought would be interesting. His targets are really sort of the teaching community and everything from teachers to parents to mentors, but it's still around teaching. And it's was a little off subject for me, but I had some challenges growing up. Basically the whole broken home issues of whatever, and just not being good in school. I just had ADD, attention deficit disorder. I couldn't sit still, so it was tough. It was tough for me. But I did love to learn. So I was devouring information constantly. But one of the issues that always came up was remembering it. And I remember talking with one of my teachers and saying, "Gosh, I really enjoyed doing the work, but I have a hard time remembering it, because when you learn a lot, how do you remember it?" And I remember she said that she suggested that I teach, because teachers never forget, because they end up, um, that the process of teaching and sharing with others kind of cements the information. So I got to the point where I realized that was a key issue. And as my career developed and I would go on stage, I did a lot of presenting to large groups, and I would present my information, and then I'd go into a Q&A session, and afterwards I'd read my evaluations, and many of them said that was just great presentation, but fantastic Q&A. And I sort of came to this discovery that my mind was partly wired to answer questions, and that I had over the years used a technique that I developed that I'm going to share with you today, and it's called Learn, Share, Simplify. I'm a data hound. I love to learn, and the way I remember stuff, if you write it down, it gets thrown away. You mark up a book, you put it away, you never go back to it. But there's got to be some way to cement that information in your mind. And I found out that when I learned something interesting and I shared it with somebody, that it, for some reason, became top of mind. Those synapses were connecting all those little neurons in my brain. And all of a sudden, I could find my way back to what I had learned. So it was really kind of an amazing tool for me. And I wanted to share it with you because it worked. It worked so well for me. But it's funny, when you learn and share, you realize you also have to simplify, because if you're going to share something in a few minutes with somebody, that for information that it took you hours or days or weeks or who knows how long, you have to simplify it. You got to come up with kind of the big picture. And if there's 10 aspects to a concept, you just share the top 2. You don't try to remember all 10. That's kind of impossible. So the whole concept of learn, share, simplify just sort of dominated my career. I would read constantly, and then for example, I'd write a newsletter, and I would summarize articles into a couple of paragraphs. I would summarize entire books into a page and a half of information. So it got to be kind of my way of doing things, of the whole simplification concept, because and by doing that, it put everything on instant recall. So like I said, I've really enjoyed being interviewed on these podcasts, because they're asking me questions, and my mind just seems to be wired for that. And over the years, just about every topic I've learned, I've taken the time to share it with others, either verbally or through my writing or through my speaking. If you're following any of my digital course reality show, I think I'm up to 18 episodes now. To be honest, tell you the truth, that's just my way of remembering stuff, because by summarizing it into 1,300 characters in a post or in a 5 or 6 minute video like this, it just puts it on instant recall, and it gets me back to the key concepts of what I've learned. If I need more, it's a trigger back into that data, or it certainly allows me to go off and find it. So it's just something to keep in mind, because I think it's a key issue. So I'll keep it simple. Learn, share, simplify is a great way to love learning and to basically put information on recall, because there's nothing worse than being in a conversation and wanting to contribute to it and say, God darn it, I know that stuff, but it's just not on the tip of my tongue. And then you leave and you're driving home and you go, damn, of course you remember it. So again, you want it top of mind, learn it, share it, but simplify it, and you'll make a connection. You'll get those synapses connecting, those neurons in your brain, and you're going to look really, really smart. All right. So that's my thought for that. I'll finish with my, sometimes you might see this little list of affirmations behind me, but I'm going to end with this one that says, smile more. I just noticed that when I smile a lot, good things happen. So have a great day. Over and out.